I got to know Larry really well, but he was a great worker, a great teammate. He told me, like when he didn't think I was taking a good shot. I tell people all the time when they start complaining, oh, the coach doesn't believe in me, or the star player on our team doesn't believe in me. I go, bro, when I played with Bird, he'd pass it, he'd get double teamed, he'd throw me the ball, but if I miss three, I'm not coming back to me.
Enjoy yourself, dog. Y'all gave us the run for our money. Yeah. All right, take care. Thank you. Work on that golf game of yours.
There are legendary NBA players. Then there are true icons. And standing above them all is Larry Bird. He never depended on freak athleticism or flashy ball handling. No highlight reel dunks or fancy tricks were needed. What made Larry lethal was something far more powerful. His basketball IQ, razor-sharp instincts, and unshakable composure in big moments. He played the game like a seasoned strategist, always thinking ahead, always in control. While others chased attention, Larry trusted his skill and let the results speak. Clutch shots, effortless no-look passes, and calm trash talk mid-play. He'd call his move and still score. His game was never about spectacle. It was about winning. And that's what elevated him beyond admiration into legend.
That boy, he can play, man. I saw this dude eat Jack Givens up. He was player of the year that year.
Kentucky, right?
Yeah, from Kentucky. And Larry Bird was just slicing and dicing him. And I said, oh. yeah. And so that was my first time seeing him. And then to be out on the court with him in college for that national championship game. And then, of course, what happened in the NBA. But I would say that we got a chance to change the league.
That's what earned him reverence from legends like Magic, Jordan, Kobe, and Peyton. Mention Larry Bird to any of them and the jokes stop instantly, replaced by respect that lands hard. These aren't casual compliments. They're first-hand truths from Hall of Famers who went up against a player sharper, tougher, and far more dominant than they ever anticipated. This isn't a highlight montage. It's a reality check. A legacy told through the voices of the very men who tried to slow him down and left shaking their heads. Long before the banners, before the iconic finals battles, before he became the face of the league, Magic Johnson saw Larry Bird during a college game, and the moment stopped him cold. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't showtime. It was precise, calculated, and ruthless. Bird dismantled the reigning National Player of the Year like it was a simple warm-up. And Magic, already one of the most gifted players in the country, knew immediately. This wasn't just another star. This was something different. This was special.
Let me tell you something. People always talk about great basketball players, and they don't never mention him to be up in that round when they made the Magics, the Jordans, the Kobes, and stuff like that. But Larry Bird was cold. I don't think nobody ever could get out with him. You ask Magic. That's why Magic had a run, and he was mad when he had to retire in '92 because of what he was going to be missing with Larry Bird.
They truly changed everything. When Magic and Bird entered the NBA, the league was on shaky ground. Half-empty arenas, low TV ratings, even the finals airing on tape delay. But the moment Bird landed in Boston and Magic arrived in Los Angeles, the energy of basketball shifted almost instantly. Their rivalry became the pulse of the league. Two icons, two historic franchises, and two completely different styles colliding on the biggest stage year after year. And it wasn't just rivalry, it was transformation. Magic pushed Bird, Bird pushed Magic, and together they pulled the NBA into a new era through sheer competitive force.
Larry was the ultimate leader, and we all know that. But it meant a lot because you were fighting against the Lakers, and Larry and Magic had come out, really become saviors of the NBA. It was unmarketable, and they began to turn that around, and Larry was driven. He was absolutely driven, and he wanted to make sure that every player on the team was involved in the process. Larry could have scored 40 points a game. I'm convinced of that. If he wanted to average 40 points, Larry Bird is one guy could have done it.
So when Magic looks back on Larry, there are no jokes, no ego, no fake bravado, just pure respect. Magic understands that without Larry pushing him, the version of Magic Johnson the world knows might never have existed. And without both of them, the NBA likely wouldn't be the global powerhouse it is today. And when Gary Payton speaks, people listen. He's one of the fiercest competitors ever to touch a court. A Hall of Famer, a defensive terror, someone who built his reputation on locking players down and never backing off. So when Peyton brings up Larry Bird unprompted and says Bird's name doesn't get mentioned enough in GOAT conversations, that isn't casual praise. It's a warning shot to anyone who's forgotten just how cold Larry Bird really was. And you can hear it in Peyton's voice. This isn't politeness. It's real frustration said out loud.
Give you Larry Bird in his prime or LeBron in his prime?
Larry Bird.
That's a quick answer.
Do you remember? I know I have nightmares. Do you? Do you have nightmares?
Larry Bird never relied on monster dunks or freakish athleticism. And maybe that's why people who never actually watched him play leave him out of their top 5 lists. But ask the players who had to face him, and they'll tell you the truth. Bird was ice cold. He'd score on you, talk trash the entire time, tell you exactly where the next shot was coming from, and then hit it anyway. To Gary Payton, that's what real greatness looks like. Not just stats or rings, but the fear and respect Bird demanded from the legends who went to war with him. And Payton is right. When people talk about Magic, Jordan, and Kobe, Larry's name belongs in that same breath. Some players dominate the box score. Others rise in big moments. But Larry Bird dominated entire eras. ML Carr witnessed it firsthand. Watching Larry evolve from a gritty forward out of Indiana State into a full-fledged franchise savior. And for Carr, Larry's greatness wasn't just measured in numbers. It was the culture he built, the example he set, and the standard he forced everyone around him to live up to.
Got to know Larry really well, but he was a great worker, a great teammate. He told me, like when he didn't think I was taking a good shot. I tell people all the time when they start complaining, oh, the coach doesn't believe in me, or the star player on our team doesn't believe in me. I go, bro, when I played with Bird, he'd pass it, he'd get double teamed, he'd throw me the ball, but if I miss 3, I'm not coming back to me.
Larry didn't need to raise his voice to lead. He led by outworking everyone, with a purpose so relentless it forced teammates to keep up or fall behind. ML Carr never sugarcoats it. Larry Bird could have been a selfish scorer whenever he wanted. He had the skill, the footwork, the vision, and the complete freedom to take over games at will. But that was never his mindset. Bird chose the team. He chose winning. And even with that approach, he was still putting up 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists while playing through a wrecked back. He never flinched. Never backed down. This wasn't a player demanding respect. He earned it every single night. Bird didn't just lead the Celtics, he defined them. And in the process, he helped bring the entire NBA back to life. John Salley understood toughness. Defense was his calling card, long, smart, physical, and never afraid of any matchup. He went toe-to-toe with Jordan, battled Shaq, took punishment from Barkley, and survived the brutal wars of the 80s and 90s Eastern Conference.
And so we had a mutual respect. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Larry. And I wouldn't take back the years I competed against him, man. What an unbelievable player, but he backed up whatever he said. If he tell you gonna hit a shot to a certain place, or if he gonna take you down to the post, turn around, hit a fadeaway J, he gonna do just that, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
So when he says a player gave him nightmares, it actually means something. And when someone asked him to pick prime Larry Bird or prime
So when he says a player gave him nightmares, it actually carries weight. And when he was asked to choose between prime Larry Bird and prime LeBron James, you'd expect a long debate, some hesitation, some back and forth. But not Sally. He didn't pause. He didn't blink. He chose Larry Bird immediately. It sounds wild, but he was dead serious. That's what Larry did to defenders. He lived rent-free in their heads. He didn't beat you with speed or flash. He beat you with precision. Every jab step had intent. Every pump fake mattered. Every pass and every shot came from a mind operating a step ahead of everyone else. And just when you thought you had him figured out, he'd tell you exactly what he was about to do, and then hit the same shot right in your face. And Sally wasn't watching from the stands. He was in the fight, trying to stop Bird at full speed. The fact that Larry still sits in his head decades later says everything. That's more than talent. That's psychological warfare. Larry Bird wasn't just someone you guarded. He was a test you had to survive. And most players didn't.
I guarded his ass so tough that after the game, he came He sent a little letter over there to me. He was like, I've had nobody play defense that hard on me.
I love it.
He go, I appreciate you playing. Hey, then he was like, I got a little All-Star game. Why don't you come work out with me? Come to the All-Star game, man.
That's dope.
And let me see that summer. And I was like, that meant everything.
Playing with Larry Bird wasn't just joining a team. It was stepping into a system built on expectations. Danny Ainge learned that quickly. He was a deadly shooter and one of the most competitive guys in Boston, but next to Larry Bird, talent alone wasn't enough. You had to show up, stay focused, and produce every single night, because Larry didn't tolerate anything less. Bird never sugarcoated the truth. He didn't need to yell or put teammates on blast. His honesty cut deeper than any locker room speech. With Larry, nothing was personal, it was all about performance. If you were hitting shots, he'd find you every time. If you weren't, the ball stopped coming your way. Not out of spite, but because Larry was there to win, not to babysit. Ainge's reflection says it all. Bird's leadership wasn't built on hype or long speeches. It was built on standards. He set the bar so high that everyone around him had no choice but to rise to meet it, or get left behind.
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, they were coming to prominence around the time when you were little. Were they your idols?
Magic more so than Larry. I couldn't stand the Celtics because I was a big Laker fan. So every time they play in the finals and Bird would come out on top, I'd be an upset individual. But I admired them for what they were able to accomplish, what they were able to do, and how much love they brought to the game.
That's a different level of pressure. Having a star who can score is one thing. Having a star who sets the tone for the entire team and holds everyone accountable in every moment is a whole different kind of power. That's why guys like Ainge didn't just respect Larry Bird. They were afraid to let him down. Some rivalries are built on flash. This one was built on grit and mental warfare. Dominique Wilkins was electric. A gifted scorer with flawless footwork, insane hops, and a mid-range game that could drop 40 on anyone at any time. But even Dominique, the human highlight reel, couldn't shake Larry Bird. Because Larry didn't just attack your body. He attacked your mind just as relentlessly. Wilkins and Bird went at it in some of the fiercest battles of the 80s. And the wild part? Everyone knew what was coming. Larry would call his shot, explain exactly how he was about to score, then knock it down with cold, clinical precision. No wasted motion. And somehow, you still couldn't stop it. Dominique never ran from a challenge, but Larry Bird was a different problem. Their 1988 Eastern Conference playoff duel remains one of the greatest battles ever. A fourth-quarter war with the season on the line, both men trading bucket for bucket. Bird never flexed, never showboated. He stayed ice-cold and executed. That was his edge. He could make even a scorer like Dominique, someone who could drop 50 without blinking, look ordinary. And the craziest part? He'd tell you exactly what he was about to do and still do it right in your face. Shawn Kemp lived for battles. At 6 feet 10 inches with a 40-inch vertical, he was a walking highlight. Explosive in transition, fearless at the rim, dunking on anyone in his path. Guards, all-stars, Hall of Famers, it didn't matter. He thrived on contact and never backed away from pressure. But even Kemp, a physical force built for chaos, found himself humbled by one man, Larry Bird.
From that point forward, I wanted to prove to you, Magic, Larry, George, everybody, that I deserve to be on this level as much as anybody else. And I hopefully, over the period of my career, I've done that, without a doubt. Even in the Detroit years, we've done that.
And here's the twist. It didn't come from trash talk or some dramatic in-game highlight. It happened after the final buzzer, quiet, simple, and unforgettable. Think about that for a second. You spend 48 minutes giving Larry Bird everything you've got, fighting, hustling, locking in on defense like your life depends on it. After all that effort, he still gets his buckets. And when the game finally ends and you're catching your breath, he hands you a handwritten note thanking you. That's not gamesmanship. That's psychological warfare at its finest. Shawn Kemp was known for his physical dominance, but Bird's true strength was in the mind. That's the thing with Larry. He could break you on the court and still make you feel honored just to be part of the battle. He turned competitors into admirers. He took your best shot and then handed you a pen and paper so you could take notes on how he beat you. To this day, Kemp calls that moment one of the most meaningful of his career. Not because Bird praised him, but because he earned Bird's respect. And in the NBA, that meant more than any highlight dunk. It meant you faced the coldest killer in the league and survived long enough to tell the story. Kobe Bryant didn't idolize flash. He didn't chase hype or noise. He idolized greatness, real mastery.
Enjoy yourself, dog. Y'all gave us the run for our money. Yeah. All right, take care. Thank you. Work on that golf game of yours.
Kobe studied the game like it was art, frame by frame, move by move, detail by detail. Growing up in Italy, long before YouTube highlights or League Pass, he didn't have access to every game. But he knew exactly who the real ones were. Magic Johnson was his hero. The Lakers were in his blood. And Larry Bird? He was the blueprint. The more Kobe watched, the clearer it became. If you truly loved basketball, you couldn't hate Larry Bird. That's why Kobe's words carry so much weight. They don't come from a teammate or a rival. They come from a student of the game, a future assassin, a mind sharp enough to recognize greatness even when it didn't align with his favorites. Larry Bird wasn't Kobe's idol, but he was one of the first players to shape the way Kobe saw basketball. Kobe studied the greats because when you're built for greatness yourself, you pay attention to the masters. Bird wasn't fast. He wasn't explosive. He didn't leap out of the gym, but he kept winning again and again. And that's exactly what Kobe respected. Not the flash, but the substance. The kind of mastery that hits you in the soul. Because Kobe only respected one type of greatness. The kind you can't ignore, no matter how hard you try.
To have Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant as an idol. The guy flies around and do whatever he wants. It's too easy. My guy doesn't run, doesn't jump, and play the best of everybody else. He's here. This is my idol, the best player ever, in my opinion.
Michael Jordan didn't chase shadows, he chased legends. Early in his career, before the rings, before the signature shoes, before being like Mike took over the world, three names sat at the top of the mountain: Magic Johnson, George Gervin, and Larry Bird. Jordan didn't idolize them. He didn't want to be them. He wanted to beat them and earn their respect. That famous quote from Jordan wasn't ego. It was validation. MJ didn't just want to win games. He wanted the respect of the legends who came before him. And sitting at the very top of that list was Larry Bird. Bird gave young Jordan real problems. He beat him repeatedly early in MJ's career. And Jordan never forgot those battles. He respected Bird not just for the skills but for the intelligence, the calm under pressure, and the relentless mindset that never broke. By 1998, when Jordan finally stood at the top, champion face of the league, the man who had become what Bird once was, he didn't just walk past quietly. He made it personal, playful. That was Jordan's way of showing respect. Raw, ruthless, and real. It wasn't an insult. It was MJ speaking to a man he once chased and finally surpassed, delivered with a grin only true competitors understand. Jordan may have become the GOAT, but he always knew one thing: you don't reach that mountaintop without going through Larry Bird first. Oscar Schmidt never played a single NBA minute, but don't get it twisted. That doesn't weaken his opinion one bit. If you think it does, you haven't done your homework. Oscar is a certified basketball legend, one of the greatest scorers in history, stacking over 49,000 career points. A true icon of international hoops.
Oh shit, that's the man. Shit, he's like your Magic, your Kareem. You know, once in a lifetime player, franchise changing player. That's the category that Larry was in. And not to mention, I like the way he led us as a team. He wasn't in your face, you know, that talking trash to you. He led by example. No matter how poorly you playing, Coop.
So when Oscar Schmidt is asked who his basketball idol is, he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't say MJ, LeBron, or Kobe. He says Larry Bird. Why? Because for Oscar, greatness wasn't about vertical leaps or dunk contests. It was about results, intelligence, and delivering night after night. He wasn't picking a feel-good story or a nostalgic favorite. He was naming the best. Plain and simple. When you truly understand basketball, you know it's never about flash. It's about will, vision, and execution. And to Oscar, nobody had more of that than Larry Bird. Robert Parrish, Hall of Famer, Warrior, and the Chief saw it up close. Playing alongside Bird during some of the Celtics' most dominant years, Parrish witnessed the fire Larry carried every night, not just as a scorer, but as the heartbeat of the team. From inside that locker room, Parrish looked at Bird with nothing but reverence. Bird wasn't about theatrics. He wasn't the loudest. He wasn't the flashiest. But when it was time to deliver, he always showed up. He didn't lead with speeches. He led by example, showing up early, outworking everyone, and demanding the same from his teammates. If you couldn't keep up, you were simply in the way. Bird was more than a star. He was a tone setter, the franchise itself. Even in his own era, he was a throwback. He wasn't fast. He wasn't explosive. He didn't have the bounce of the 80s Flyers or the power of the 90s Giants. But none of that mattered. Bird had two things every all-time great needs: unshakable confidence and unstoppable skill. He didn't just play the game, he solved it with his mind, his mouth, and that deadly jumper. Legends like Magic, Jordan, Kobe, Gary Payton, Dominique Wilkins, and countless others didn't just respect him, they feared him. He'd tell you what he was about to do, then do it anyway. He didn't beat you with athleticism. He beat you with IQ, grit, and perfect execution. He didn't outrun you. He outlasted you. He didn't just play basketball, he defined it. Magic and Bird didn't just compete, they saved the league. Jordan didn't just chase championships, he chased Bird's approval. Kobe didn't want to like Larry, but he couldn't stop studying him. Players like Sally, Kemp, Ainge, and Parrish didn't just watch it happen. They lived it, felt it, and still recall it with the same look of disbelief. Larry Bird was a rare type of player who could break you down physically, mentally, and emotionally, and still make you grateful you shared the court with him. People can talk about flash, verticals, wingspans, sneaker deals, all the noise. But when legends sit down and talk about real legends, Larry Bird's name always comes up. True greatness doesn't fade. It doesn't follow trends. It echoes forever.